Hello, yes, and welcome to another episode of MLS Ireland. Well, I'll be bringing to you my predictions for week 2. Yes, we're getting going. Stay tuned. Perfect, thank you very much for joining me. Yes, my name is Sean, and yes, this is my prediction show. And if you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. I got 170 at the moment, which is pretty impressive for a person who, let's face it, comes up with one correct result. But you know, far better than, I say, probably than the rest of them. So who can you trust, basically? So yeah, we're past the first week where I did actually probably get the one result correct. It was a 2-2 draw against Chicago Fire and New England Revolution. I got that one correct. I got a couple of results correct. One kind of majorly wrong, as in Montreal not beating Toronto and then beating Toronto. Yeah, I got that one wrong. I got one quite badly wrong. But anyway, I'll try and do better this time. Like I said, last week was kind of like a one-hit wonders kind of stuff. Like I didn't really know what way they were going to play. They had new managers. There was a new season. I didn't really can go off form or what players are doing, because I didn't get to see much pre-season, because pre-season was kind of not being able to show. They weren't showing stuff, which is really annoying. But anyway, I digress. So obviously this is my prediction show, and I'll carry on as I'll do my best, because God knows what's going to happen again, because this is the second week. Teams are still finding their feet, but I'm going to have a go. So the first one is Sporting Kansas City against Orlando City. Technically, Sporting Kansas City are the favourites going into this at 17-20. So if you're kind of a betting man, Sporting Kansas City is probably the favourites to go into this, but I'm not 100% sure. I think Orlando are a good team, even though that they're now down a striker. I still think there is goals in them. Sporting Kansas City still didn't really fill me with hope much last week, and still made a good game, but I didn't think they really had it in them. What was the score? 2-1. They beat New York Red Bulls 2-1. Saying that, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think Sporting Kansas City just still may leak in that goal, but I think Orlando are capable of scoring goals and probably leaking in that one goal like Sporting Kansas City can score. So I'm just going to go for a draw, which is 3-1. So yeah, I'm going to go for a draw on that one. The second one is New York City FC against FC Cincinnati. New York actually got beat by DC United, which was quite a surprise, because I thought they were going to beat them. Cincinnati didn't do too bad. I suspect they drew, so it wasn't a bad result, even though that they did draw against Nashville. So I did say Nashville may win that one, but I did say 2-1 to Nashville, but I had 2-2. But anyway, not too bad. This one is going to be a different one. I think New York City should win this one. They probably have a lot better players and they can't score goals, so I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win in this one. I know Cincinnati has Acosta and he's playing pretty well. He scored a pretty good goal there last week, but I just think New York City are probably more of a team at this moment in time, so I think they're probably the favourites going into this game at 2-5 to win that game. So the next one is Nashville against Montreal, which is going to be an interesting one. As I said, Nashville drew and Montreal won. So going into this game, who is favourites? Not many, but I think Nashville is the favourites at 13-20. So yeah, Nashville are probably the favourites going into this one. I'm not 100% sure on this one. I think Montreal still are a very good team. Victor Wanyama is now starting to play very, very well. It's like Thierry Henry didn't really know how to manage him, which is weird. But anyway, so yeah, they're coming up against a very good team in Nashville, who I still kind of like, and they probably have a lot of in them to really get a good game out of this. So I'm gonna go for like a 1-1 draw. I think again this game could go anyway. I think Nashville are a very good team, and Montreal should probably win this game, but I think Nashville at home, it's going to be a 1-1 draw. The next one, Toronto against Vancouver. Two teams I got completely wrong last week. I thought Toronto were going to win quite easily and Vancouver was going to get beaten quite easily, and that happened the other way around. So saying that, I do think Toronto are the better team, so I'm going to go for like a simple 2-1 win. They are the favourites at 1-2 to win this game. I think Vancouver surprised a lot of people winning 1-0 against Portland, but I just do think Toronto probably going to have the favourites to be the favourites in this one. I'm going to win not quite comfortably, but they have the better players. The next one, San Jose against FC Dallas. San Jose, what did they do last week? San Jose. They got beat by Houston Dynamo, where I thought Houston Dynamo was going to get beat by San Jose. Again, I get that many wrong. Against FC Dallas, who I predicted to win actually, but they drew. So yeah, so I do think FC Dallas is probably going to win this one again. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. Going into this game, who is the favourites? Nobody really is the favourites. I think the best odds is for a FC Dallas win, which is 9-5. So if you're probably going to be putting a wee bet on that one, try maybe not listening to me, but listening to me, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I would go for that one. I think FC Dallas is probably going to win 2-1 on that one. They're just probably the better team, probably better. Like San Jose didn't really look like a proper team until when Donowski came on and he missed a sitter. So will they start him? I don't know. The next one is LAFC against Seattle Sounders. Seattle, who are top of the league, are playing against the team who are third in the league. So we're already getting a good game so far. So yeah, Seattle Sounders are a very, very good team. They kind of basically blew away Minnesota 4-0. I did say they're going to win, but I said 3-2. But they still won, which is a pretty impressive result. They are at even odds to win this game. This game's going to be on quite around 11 o'clock at night, so that's probably great. I get to watch it. Yep, they're coming up against the Los Angeles team who are scoring goals, so they're doing pretty well. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 win to Seattle. Seattle Sounders are going to go for a 3-2 win. Seattle Sounders are just a very good team at the moment, and LAFC are a very good team at the moment, but I think Seattle are that bit better. I wouldn't be too surprised if this game goes into a draw, but I think there's going to be plenty of goals in this one. The next one is Atlanta against Chicago Fire. Atlanta are favourites going into this one, probably rightly so. They didn't do too great with a 0-0 draw against Orlando, where I did kind of expect these two teams to be really scoring goals that game, but these things happen. So they're coming up against a Chicago Fire team who drew, as I said at the start of the program there. This is going to be an interesting one. I think Chicago Fire can score goals against Atlanta. Atlanta aren't really all that great at the back at this moment in time, so I'm going to go for it. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Atlanta. I just think they have a wee bit too much firepower. But hopefully now with Joseph Martinez probably back, not firing yet, but he's back into the team, a bit more playing. He didn't play much last week, even though I thought he would start, but he didn't start. See, this is the kind of stuff that I can't really predict. So if anyone has a goal main saying I got runs wrong, well, I don't predict who's going to bloody start. So saying that, 2-1 to Atlanta. So if Joseph Martinez starts, I do think he's going to have a very big hand in that game, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. The next one is Minnesota against Real Salt Lake. Real Salt Lake's first game in MLS this season. They're coming up against the Minnesota team who got beat quite well against Seattle. So saying that, this is going to be quite an interesting game. Is Minnesota going to be hurt? But they're going to be at home, probably with their own fans, very good fan base, against Real Salt Lake who haven't played. So I'm going to go for like a 2-0 win. I think Minnesota are just that bit better. They are capable of scoring goals, and I don't really see much of Real Salt Lake this season. Unfortunately, I just don't. Minnesota probably are the better team. They're probably better managed, and they're probably better in a lot of ways. So sorry, Real Salt Lake. Perfect. And the next game is New England Revolution against DC United. I did say DC United is probably going to lose their last game, but they won, which was quite surprising, against New York. But now they're coming up against the New England team who are capable of scoring. They have a very good manager and probably well tacticked out, set up, well played, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, coming into this game, I think the New England Revolution are probably the better team coming into this. So against the DC United team who did win 2-1 last week, I am going to go for a New England Revolution 2-1 win. I think they're capable of scoring. They have a good team, good defense, probably, and a good manager compared to DC United. So yeah, I'm going to go for like a 2-1 win to New England Revolution. The next one is Philadelphia Union against Inter Miami. You know, David Beckham's team, the team that you can constantly see on TV over here, because it's David Beckham and it's basically Inter Miami. It's probably UK Miami, basically, as you can probably call it. They're coming up against a Philadelphia team who drew, which was quite surprising, against the Columbus Crew team, who are probably two best teams in the league at the moment. Probably 2 out of the 3, maybe 2 out of the 4. But anyway, Seattle probably a very good team in there as well. But saying that, Philadelphia against an Inter Miami team who played very, very well, surprisingly, against LA Galaxy. But LA Galaxy, anyway, you know the score. So yeah, Philadelphia coming up against an Inter Miami team. I think Philadelphia are the favourites going into this game hugely at 21-20, which is actually quite surprisingly low. So if you're going to be putting a few pounds on that one, I probably just, so as I predicted 3-1 to win, Philadelphia are just that better team. Again, they have no, they've had a week off. There's no Champions League games on and all that kind of stuff. So I do think they're probably going to be a bit better equipped coming into this game. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win. As I said, they're at home too, and they're probably going to have their own fans. The next one is Colorado Rapids against Austin FC. So Austin played quite alright. Joe Gallagher came on in the second half and actually played a lot better than what they were doing. Colorado Rapids, they drew as well, I believe. So yeah, this game is kind of going to be an interesting one. I do think it's going to be a draw myself as well. It's 11-4 for a draw in that one, even though Colorado Rapids are the favourites going into this game. I'll predict probably 1-1 draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1. I do think there's a goal in Austin at the moment, and I think Colorado Rapids, if this game doesn't turn out to be a Colorado Rapids 1 or 2-0 win, I think it's going to be like a 1-1. I think Austin's probably going to score in the first, then Colorado's going to come back in the second, and probably 1-1 draw, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go on to win it 2-1. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one. And the second to the last one is Portland Timbers against Houston Dynamo. Dynamo, who won last week when I said they're going to lose, and Portland lost even though I said they're going to win. So guess what I've predicted? Portland are a very good team at the moment. I don't know what really happened last week. I didn't really get to see the game because it was on very, very late at night. So saying that, they're still a very good team. I do think they're going to win 2-0 in this one. I don't know. I think Houston played very well last week, which was quite surprising but then again, San Jose wasn't really putting up much of a fight. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win into Portland in this one. So I think Diego Vela is probably just going to be basically number 1 on this one. I think he may get a goal on this one as well. So keep an eye out for that. The next one and the last one is LA Galaxy against New York Red Bull. LA Galaxy have Javier Hernandez Chicharito finally scoring goals. He's had 2 goals this season so far, and I think he only had 2 goals last season. So that's a pretty good turnaround. Pretty well improved against the New York Red Bulls team, who now are starting to press a lot more, which is great to see. Even though that they did lose this game last week against Sporting Kansas City 2-1, even though it's still the start of the season, it doesn't really, well, it's not that it doesn't matter, it's just MLS is going to be very, very open, and so it's not that you can afford to lose a game, but it's not too bad coming up at the very start of the season. Even though a lot of teams like their MLS Cup and kind of want to, it's like half the season's like a pre-season, then they go for it, like the second half of the season. So I'm not going to be too shocked. I think New York Red Bulls are going to be okay this season. I just do think they do need a striker, and LA Galaxy are going to be okay, but they need a defender. But saying that, I think LA Galaxy should probably win this one. I'm going to go for a 2-1. I think with Hernandez now finally scoring, and he's probably finding his feet and all that kind of stuff, I think he will have a good hand in the 2 goals in this one. They are slightly the favourites to win this game, so yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to LA Galaxy. That is my predictions. If you enjoyed them, hit that subscribe button. If you, whatever your predictions are, let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you on the next one. Toodles.